Kristen, it is almost Christmas.
I know. And if I'm not frantically shopping for everyone's gifts, I'm frantically baking.
Oh, I totally hear you. We so often focus on desserts, but there are 3 meals a day, and I think they all deserve some fresh baked goodies.
Ooh, I could not agree more. Let's make one for each meal.
Well, maybe we should just start with breakfast.
Fine. Welcome to Mom's Wooden Spoon.
Get your apron on and your fanny flicker ready as we cook up some nostalgia.
Ooh, yummy.
The holiday season is upon us.
Yes, I've been looking forward to this.
So amidst all your shopping and panic
Oh, yeah.
and family gatherings, if all goes well, you may also get to do a little baking.
Yeah,
Never fear, Mom's Wooden Spoon is once again here for you.
we are indeed.
And we have, I think, a recipe that might not stop the panic, but it might be worth giving a try.
I think it really will be worth giving a try.
I'm excited. It is sour cream cranberry coffee cake.
I love a good coffee cake.
Oh, I do too. It's an easy breakfast option.
Yep.
It's sweet, so people usually like it, but it's not so sweet that you're at the end.
Yeah, you don't want a bellyache from too much sugar because you really get that all holiday season long. Too much sugar.
Totally. But you add a little cranberry and bada boom, it's holiday.
It's fantastic. It's a little bit tart.
Oh, yes. I was thinking then the red makes it kind of
Oh,
festive.
so pretty.
Yes. And if
Yes.
you could see me, I am jazz handing
Ooh,
all over the place.
all over.
I got serious holiday enthusiasm going on.
I mean, and it's a good thing that she keeps hers under control because our last episode, I think I practically knocked the entire brownie batter all over the floor.
And I think she about flipped my glasses off my face twice. But, who's counting?
Oh my gosh. Well, let me tell you, Mary really, really liked this recipe too. She said many of you will eat your Christmas dinner in the middle of the day. And so you don't want too heavy of a breakfast.
Yeah.
And so a little coffee cake with a cup of coffee, what a nice little treat before you have a big midday meal.
I think it's super nice. It's not something that's done a lot of. You think of Christmas and you think of cookies. You
Yes.
automatically go the dessert route. So let's bring a little sweet, tasty, yummy in for breakfast.
I like that idea.
So do you have any holiday morning foods that are your go-to?
Well, there are some delicious French toast bakes.
That's what I was thinking because I think of you.
Yes.
And the French toast casseroles.
Yeah, they're just so delicious. You can use stale bread, just make up that egg mixture.
You just said they're so delicious with stale bread.
Stale bread.
Wow, you paint such a nice picture.
That's how you make French toast, you stinker. You have to have a little bit stale so it soaks up a little bit of that egg mixture. But
nice.
you know what? There is the most delicious egg casserole recipe. And I think the recipe is in Mary's memos as well.
And if I remember correctly as a kid,
Yeah.
I want to say, so our dad, if we haven't told you already, was a principal of a local elementary school.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, I must have been little,
Mhm.
I don't know, under 10.
Mhm.
And he had all of his teachers over for, I don't know why, but a breakfast.
Yes,
at our
home.
house.
Yes, they sat out on the back patio.
Okay, so I couldn't remember, did I make that up? Was it
and
real?
I think it must have been in the 70s, maybe the late 70s. You would have been way less than 10 because I remember some of the teachers had super long, kind of hippie-ish hair.
Oh, beautiful.
I thought they were so cool.
Anybody with share hair.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Amazing.
Yep. So back to the whole reason we're talking about this breakfast brunch that our parents made for.
Oh, you're right, because they made exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
Is this delicious egg casserole with egg and sausage.
And it had cubed up white bread.
Stale bread.
Yes, stale bread. Another use for it. And so it is so delicious. So if you want something savory for a breakfast meal, there's all different varieties of these egg casseroles. But this one, for some reason, is just so delicious to me.
Me too. It is indelibly in my head as just the height of breakfast treat.
It's so delicious. Yep.
Yeah. So now that we've talked up what we're not making, maybe we'll try that later.
Yeah. Maybe we'll give you the recipe. We did give you the delicious cream de mint brownie recipe as our We're So Sorry on the beef brownie episode.
Absolutely.
So we wanted to give you something you actually might be able to cook. So maybe on this one, we could additionally attach the recipe for that fantastic breakfast casserole.
That sounds good. Hopefully not because we're so sorry. Like,
No.
I'm really counting on this being yummy.
Yeah, I think so because let's see, it has an entire cup of butter, cup of sugar, couple of eggs. It has almond extract, which I find makes everything taste so delicious.
And sour cream. So it's going to be super moist.
Oh, yeah. And then I think what we're going to do is we're going to make the batter and put it in a 9 by 13 pan. And then we're going to spoon this whole berry cranberry sauce all over the top of that. And then I think we'll top it with almonds and pop it in the oven.
So I love a coffee cake with streusel.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Like it's I don't know, it's kind of the best part of the coffee cake.
It is.
Is the streusel. Yes. It's kind of crunchy, but not. It's sweet.
It's buttery.
Oh, it's everything you want. And then it's followed by this kind of bland cake.
Oh, yeah.
So I love the streusel. So I'm glad that it's going to kind of have its own version of a streusel, I guess.
Or a topping at least.
I guess that's it. Because it's not a streusel at all.
No.
A topping. So that sounds
Oh my gosh, yes. So back in the day when I was a new teacher and I was living in Virginia Beach, I found Entenmann's brand. Right?
Yes.
And they had a coffee cake that had double streusel. Yes.
Was there any cake?
It was barely any.
Oh.
It was most like half streusel, half cake. It was the best because you're right. Streusel's the best part.
It is.
Topping on a cake is the best part because cake can be kind of dry, especially you think of a coffee cake as not being the moistest thing ever.
My husband would say yes.
Oh, yeah. He does not like cake because it's dry.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And ginger snaps.
He also, again, right?
They, as he would say, they suck the spit out your mouth.
That's right. Like the Rice Krispie chocolate chip cookies. My ex-wife made.
Not a big, although while I was not a fan of our chocolate chip Rice Krispie cookies, he ate them all.
You're kidding me.
So I think the undercooking
it worked.
Made him happy.
See, Kristen was right. Kristen was right.
Yeah. So
say it, Carrie.
So I think that
Kristen
it was
right.
that I did a better job than the ex-wife. And that's what matters.
You're avoiding it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. So let's go ahead. I think we need to cream the butter and the sugar. Let's see. Yeah.
Typically how that works.
Yeah, but you know what? It's weird. Usually they say cream the butter and sugar together. And this one says cream the butter and then add the sugar gradually.
And cream again.
That's right. So we're going to do this in my stand mixer. So we'll be back in just a second after I cream the butter and add the sugar until it is light and fluffy.
And once again, in case you hadn't caught it the 4 previous times, she's going to cream the butter and add the sugar. Follow along for more exciting details of what we're going to do, like creaming butter and adding sugar.
You know what? Every episode I say, you're mean, but Carrie, you're freaking mean.
I don't know what you're talking about. Come on, Kristen. Let's go cream butter.
We're back, and guess what?
I can't even imagine. What have you been doing, Kristen?
I creamed the butter, Carrie.
What? Did you add sugar?
I did.
Oh my gosh.
I added eggs.
Wow.
Yes, I even added some almond extract. It's all creamed together. Creamed butter.
Cream. So exciting. Gosh, guys, you really missed a lot while we've been away.
You did.
Creaming.
You did. Oh, man.
A lot of creaming.
I'll tell you what, though. The almond extract smells so good in that.
It always smells delicious. It's like vanilla. You can't go wrong. So now we have to take our dry ingredients and get them all added together so that we can mix them in with
the creamed butter.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we are going to mix together 1 3/4 cups of unsifted all-purpose flour. And I have the 1 cup, and then I'll do the 3/4. And Carrie, we need to put in the baking powder, 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And then the salt is a 1/2 teaspoon.
Awesome.
We can do that.
Okay, so since this is our Christmas recipe, I did a little look-in.
Oh,
This is from, I don't even know if I told y'all. This recipe is from the Christmas 1983.
Mary's Memo. Yeah, Christmas 1983. She doesn't even put like whatever date because it didn't really come out on Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
She's just like, hey, get prepped.
That's right. Yeah.
So I looked up Christmas 1983 and it was cold. All I can think of is as a witch's tick. Maybe we'll need to cut that. What's another way to explain really cold? It was colder than crap. No, it was really cold, y'all.
I'll tell you what, it was so cold that it was the coldest Christmas in Ohio ever, in Defiance ever.
Yeah, and not just Ohio. It was lots of places. Like, there was one place that had like -40, and it didn't just hit for like a minute.
No.
It was days.
It was days long. As a matter of fact, it was -18 degrees on Christmas, 1983.
I mean,
in Defiance.
That's cold.
That's really cold. I asked Mom and Dad if they remembered it, and they both said no.
No, I mean, you stayed inside. And what about your business?
But I also read that a lot of Christmas services were canceled because they were worried about people going out in that frigid cold.
Yeah. Okay. So I went to college at Bowling Green State University, Northwest Ohio. And I remember a year long past 1983 in which it was super crazy cold. And so they would cancel classes.
Oh.
Okay. But this is before they would text you on your cell phone because nobody had cell phones. So you had no idea that class had been canceled. There was nowhere to know.
You would walk your butt all the way there, huh?
So if you were a commuter, they had a commuter webpage.
Really?
Yes. And so you could look on the webpage and see that it was super crazy cold and that classes had been canceled. So you just didn't bother coming to campus.
Yeah.
I did not have access to the commuter webpage.
Right.
So I would just walk my sorry little self across campus, just knowing it was okay. I'd get there. I had 2 hours to thaw out before I had to make the trek home. And you'd get there and there'd be a sign on the door that said class was canceled. And you would cry frozen tears.
Oh, no.
Frozen tears.
Oh my gosh. And I don't know if you were too cool for school like I was.
Oh, no, I was not.
I would not wear big old boots. I wore my pretty little flats, even in frigid temperatures, and paid the price.
No. I could have walked past my very best friend and never known.
Really?
So I had a winter coat that was my dad's.
Really?
It was huge, or huge, as he would say. And it came almost to my knees. It was so long and big and bulky, and it had a hood, and the hood had a string around it. And so I pulled that string so the hood would come all the way down to my eyes. And then it had this little snappy thing up that came up to my nose.
Whoa.
And then I would take a scarf and I would wrap that around my head.
Wow.
So just my eyes were showing. Mittens, boots, like the whole shebang.
My goodness.
Nobody knew. And you'd get there and your eyelashes were freezing to the scarf because from exhaling.
Gosh. Yes, the moisture.
Yes, you couldn't get your eyelashes would stay. And all you wanted was class.
Right, you didn't have it. Carrie never had any class, but you know.
And in effort to be nice, the professor canceled the stupid thing.
It wasn't nice. Carrie needed to thaw in the classroom.
It was horrible.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so my whole point is it wasn't even that cold.
Yes.
So I really can't imagine. Although if I was a kid, 10 years old,
there's
nothing to say that I didn't get my winter coat on, put on my moon boots.
Yeah.
Did you have moon boots? I don't think you did.
I don't think I did.
I think you had some that were faux leather with faux lamb's fur coming out the side.
I definitely had faux leather, and I think it had fake like rabbit's fur on the top on the cuff.
They were so beautiful.
Do you remember being a little kid and having a rabbit's fur muff?
No, but I remember having no animals were harmed in my upbringing, FYI.
They were in my muff. It was real rabbit's fur muff.
You're nasty.
It was so cool, though.
I had faux rabbit fur ear muffs.
Ooh.
A brown and black rabbit's fur, fake rabbit's fur. So I could wear it. There was an accessory no matter what color jacket I was wearing.
That is true. No, but when we were little, you had one too. I think we had matching white rabbit's fur muffs, and you'd put your hands.
I remember the muff. I had no idea it was real.
Oh, yeah, I think it was real. Yeah, I mean, that was the day that people carried real rabbit's feet as a good luck charm.
I remember that. I didn't know they were real.
They were real.
Oh,
chopped off rabbit's foot, dyed.
Oh, shush. We're cooking. Stop with your nastiness.
Okay, on that note, have you put in the salt?
I did.
And the baking powder?
I did.
Okay, so we need to stir that up a little bit. And we have to add it alternately with the sour cream to the creamed mixture, it says. And we need an entire cup of the sour cream.
So while you do that,
yeah,
I found a 1983 JCPenney Christmas catalog.
Ooh.
So you recently found a Sears Christmas catalog. Right. And which we talked about. So I got to look at the JCPenney one. I have to tell you all, if you have a chance, you need to. Kristen talked about it, and I'm like, oh, that sounds so nice, Kristen. Ha, right. Ooh, that's so nice for you.
Oh, Kristen, shut up. Yeah.
How much longer do we have to talk about this?
Again, she's mean. She's mean.
And then I found one, and I'm telling you, it's so awesome.
It is so fun, isn't it?
And you know what I found in that Christmas catalog?
What?
Those boots of yours. Oh, yes. I'm like, oh my gosh. I didn't even look at the toys. The toys were so meh to me.
Yeah.
I didn't really remember.
Well, 1983, you were a little bit older. Yeah. I was 13, not really playing with toys a lot.
I didn't remember. There was some thing, but the clothes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man.
Yes, I looked at that too. Okay, so I was thinking winter.
Yes.
What would keep you warm? This was in the 1983 one of the Sears or JCPenney Montgomery Ward catalogs. It was a regular, just crew neck sweater, and it had a monogram embroidered dead center of the chest. Do you remember those?
I do.
I had a red one.
I remember yours. I don't know if I had
think you
one.
had a light yellow one, and it had a dark blue embroidered.
Isn't that funny that you remember? I remember yours.
Well, you know what? I could never steal yours because it had your monogram.
Oh, you did? That would have been my favorite shirt then. Wow. I saw they had these sweaters. They were super fuzzy, soft looking.
Yeah.
And they just had a crew neck in the front, but a V in the back. And I want to say that one of us got a senior picture in that sweater, or maybe it was the two, I don't know. And it was like a mauve color.
Oh, yes. We had, I'll put it out on the website. It was not 1983,
No.
It was when I was in high school, at least. Maybe I was a senior. And we both woke up.
It's the best picture. And our hair.
Our hair is so huge. It kind of merges into one.
It does. We both have the same color hair. And it's all over.
Spiral perm, gigantor. Carrie didn't need a spiral perm. I had a gigantic spiral perm. Did you really?
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And there's like this. You can't see the background. It's all hair. They're two little heads.
And we both wore mauve sweaters, and we held these dolls, or at least one of us did, that were made out of a pillowcase of our grandma's that one of our grandmothers embroidered.
Yes.
And it was a doll made of it. So here we are in this picture, gigantic hair holding dolls.
It would be great in the weird family photos.
It would be so good. Okay, I'm going to put that out on the
website.
Should.
You should.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh, it's fabulous.
That was great. Yes.
So let me see what else I found in there. So the sweater with the V-neck was one of them. I had written down even.
Oh yeah, the V-neck in the back.
Yes.
So you would wear like a shirt under it, so you could see like maybe a tank top.
Or nothing. You didn't go back down so low.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I have seen ones that go down pretty low, and so you'd wear
something under.
Yeah,
no, these you didn't see. No, it
wow,
was not scandalous.
I don't think our mauve sweaters were like that. I think one of us had a crew neck and one of us had a V-neck, but I'll find it.
You had the crew neck, and I had, I believe, a turtleneck with an off-white sweater cardigan.
Oh, well, you know what? There is no need for us to guess. I'm going to find that sucker and put it out there.
Yeah.
You know, and as I was thinking about warm things that you would wear in this freezing cold, I thought about waking up Christmas morning, negative 18 degrees, freezing cold. Do you remember Grandma's robe? Because our grandma would come over, stay the night before, and then get up for Christmas with us.
Yeah.
And I remember Grandma's robe. It's in all the pictures. And I remember Mom's. Okay, so Grandma's, do you remember what color it was?
No, but Mom's was like off-white.
Well, Mom had probably in 1983 a velour bright purple zip-up robe.
Oh, fashion, baby.
I know. And Grandma's was an avocado green.
They had in the 1983 JCPenney Christmas catalog some seriously full coverage bathrobes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, up to the neck with a high neck, the zipper.
Oh my gosh.
Quilted looking.
Very quilted. Yes.
It was a body hiding.
Yes. You know
ugly mass of fabric.
In 1983, you could get like a dichotomy. So people would wear those weird workout clothes. It was like a bathing suit over leggings, right?
Yes.
You could go from that, which I mean, and they were cut up so high. If you didn't wear like leggings, like your whole hoo-hoo was hanging out.
Oh, I mean, that was like a high hip.
Yeah, high hip.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then in comparison, do you remember the shirts that were really tall neck and they had a ruffle around the top and then they didn't button up the middle. It had a flap that flapped over your entire chest and buttoned down the side. And it had a ruffle all along it. Yes.
No, I do not remember
and it was high neck. And
did you wear that?
Oh, yeah. They were so popular. All the girls did.
In the 80s?
In the 80s. I think if I show you a picture, you'll remember it. I mean, I remember all the cool girls wearing them at school.
Wow.
And then all the women, like our mother's age, wore really high neck collars with a big, wide ribbon, the same type of fabric, and they tie a big bow at the neck. Do you remember those?
Oh, absolutely.
That was in the catalog for 1983.
Oh, yeah. Man. I didn't see that. Or it didn't spring any kind of a memory for me at all.
Yeah.
So I did not write that down. But I did write down,
going
back to your waking up Christmas morning, they had some slippers.
Oh, boy.
And they had slippers that were all furry with a big animal head.
Oh, yes.
And I had some.
I did too.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yes, I did.
So I think I remember yours as being a Smurf.
Great guess, but no. That would have been our friend Kevin. Probably would have had Smurf slippers.
No hate to Kevin, but dude loves his Smurfs.
Oh, dude loves his Smurfs. Yeah. No, mine were Garfield.
You're right.
Yes.
Okay, and I think I had this crazy turquoise bear with a pink hat. Like no character, no nothing. And they were huge. Because not only did you have the bear head, but then you had this big top hat, pink top hat sticking off. That they did not sell those in the JCPenney catalog 1983.
Carrie had the lame-o off-brand.
Yeah, got them at Dollar General. Turquoise bear.
Nice.
Huge. I mean, my little size 4 feet. And a size 22 slipper.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But they were warm on -18.
I'm telling you, my shin muscles were epic from holding those bear heads up.
Oh my gosh. Okay, on that note, we are going to now cream in the flour and the sour cream, and we'll be back in just a moment.
All right.
Okay, the batter is ready, and Carrie?
Yes?
It is so creamy.
What? So unexpected, Kristen.
Well, it really is. I'm not even joking.
It's beautiful. It's fluffy, and I stuck my finger in it and tasted it. And it's very sour, creamy, and bland, as a coffee cake would be.
Oh, yeah.
The batter's very fluffy.
It really is.
It's very unusual.
Let's see. So the directions say to pour the batter into a buttered 9x13 pan, and then we are going to spoon the cranberry sauce evenly over the batter and spread slightly.
And I'm not going to talk while you scoop that out
because it's kind of loud.
The ridges of the can makes a lot of noise.
I'm trying to get it spread fairly evenly.
She started real thick at one end.
I did.
And so it's real wide to the edges at one end, and it gets narrower.
She doesn't know what she's talking about, folks. She does not know what she's talking about. It looks beautiful.
If you guys hear this part, it's going to be amazing because I know she's going to cut me.
I'm going to cut you so bad.
Making fun of her.
You.
It looks beautiful and festive. Oh, we have to put some almonds.
Some almonds. Let's see. Sprinkle with almonds and bake for 35 to 40 minutes.
All right. So while you sprinkle, I'm going to talk about, I got to the toy section.
Wait a minute. I'm going to sprinkle and you're going to talk?
Yeah, this is how I like to do this. I don't know. Season 2 of the podcast, I've discovered an amazing technique. I talk. Kristen works.
That's right. It's totally true.
It's working really well, I think.
Yeah, for you.
That's a lot of almonds.
It is.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be tasty and crunchy and nutty.
Okay, so I got to the toy section of the catalog, and there were just a few notable items.
Okay.
So right before you got to the toy section, there were some electronics.
Oh, yeah.
And they had watches, which were fabulous. And then I saw these game watches. Do you remember these? They were square.
Yes.
And they had like horrible graphics.
Oh, yeah.
And you could get Pac-Man.
Oh, my gosh.
Super teeny tiny. There's no way anybody over the age of 45 used these.
That's right.
Because you couldn't see it. Super tiny graphics, and they had Pac-Man and Frogger, and then they had like this tank something, which is actually the one I remember, oddly enough. Yeah. And then they had a answering machine, 1983.
Whoa.
They were huge.
Yeah.
And so I want you to guess, how much do you think a 1983 answering machine in the JCPenney Christmas catalog would cost? I just picked one. I am sure there were other dollar amounts.
This is tricky because I think when items are new on the market, they're crazy expensive.
Right.
But what would be crazy expensive in 1983?
Sure.
So I'm going to guess $35.
Super close.
Really?
It was $189.
What?
Yes.
Who could afford that?
Someone who was really concerned about missing phone calls.
Whoa.
I was blown away. Like I should have done like an inflation check to see how much that would be in today's day and age.
Yeah.
Because 83, that's a lot of years ago.
That's a lot of years ago, but dang, that's a lot of money in 83.
That's a lot of money today.
Yeah.
$189.
Wow. Well, I can tell you something with all certainty.
We did not have one.
You better believe it. Oh my goodness.
That is crazy. Okay. But the toys that I wanted to mention. So I got to the Barbie section. Would have been one of my favorites. They had a lot, like the Barbie Dream House.
Ooh, yeah.
Like $100.
Wow, that is why we did not have that either.
Totally.
And so that is why we would pretend that our bunk beds were the Barbie Dream House. She would go up the ladder of the bunk bed. I mean, she really had, a 2-story house that was very spacious.
Very spacious.
Yeah.
Yes. They had some other Barbie stuff, an RV. Okay, but they had Barbie's friend Tracy and her fiance Todd. I do not think they were in the Barbie movie.
I don't think so.
I don't remember who was the Alan. Alan was the non-Ken, not the fiance Todd.
Whoa!
He probably didn't make it into the movie because he was engaged. Oh, and that was a bunch of single guys in the movie.
That's right.
Who wouldn't have wanted to hang out with the bachelors.
Oh my gosh! And do you know another Barbie? And I don't know if it was from 1983, but I just saw it on Facebook. It was a Ken doll where you would take a marker and you would draw on a 5 o'clock shadow.
What?
And then take this little teeny tiny Barbie size razor that I think may have had a sponge that you would dip in water, and you would shave off the beard that you had drawn on with a marker.
It was Bearded Ken.
Bearded Ken.
I love it. He'd be very popular right now. The men have those, beards. Beards are the thing right now.
Yeah. I wonder why they didn't do that for Barbie. Draw on leg hair, shave off her leg hair, do her bikini line, her pants.
Little pits. Oh, yuck.
I think we should do that now.
We're going to make it nasty, Kristen.
Okay. On that nasty note, I'm going to put the cake in the oven.
Okay.
We are going to set the timer for the lowest amount of time, 35 minutes, and then we will...
Okay, so while you do that, I'm going to jibber jabber like I do.
Oh, come on.
And then when you come back from the long trek to the oven...
Yes.
I believe you have a little announcement to make.
I do. I'm excited about that. Okay, so jabber jabber, I'm going to put this in the oven.
Okay, so the other toy that I found that is a must mention is the Fisher-Price movie viewer.
Ooh, yes.
I did not have one.
No.
But my bestie at the time, JJ, she had one. And so it was a little movie viewer. It looks a lot like home movie projectors of today look. It was about that size and shape. And then you'd get these cartridges kind of like an Atari cartridge, and you pop it in the side, and they had short little no sound movies. And they were like Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse.
Oh, yes.
Kid friendly things. Yeah. And so Jay and I would sit in her closet and push all the clothes. So we're sitting under the clothes and shut the doors because it was dark.
Right.
And all the clothes would be over us so that the other wall was bare.
Yeah.
And project our little movie.
That's hilarious.
Okay, so here's the funniest part. We walked into the closet. The top shelf was metal. And Jay had a magnet. I want to say it was like a Tasmanian devil magnet on her shelf. And I was like, Jay, I have a magnet just like that, but I lost mine. I can't find it anywhere. That's so cool that you have one. And she's like, yeah. And we watched our little movie. We went on with life. Probably a year later, Jay, riddled with guilt, comes to me and she's like, Carrie, you know that magnet? And I'm like, yeah, vaguely. I stole it from you.
Oh my God.
She'd been living with the guilt of stealing my Tasmanian devil magnet.
That's hilarious. You didn't even notice.
I had I knew mine was gone.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. I didn't care. I had given it to her. I didn't care that she'd stolen it, but it had been eating her alive.
Oh, poor Jay.
She's like, do you want it back? I'm like, no.
Not really. You keep it. Oh, that's hilarious.
Nope.
Oh my gosh. Well,
busted by the movie watching event.
So busted.
In theater closet. Okay, Kristen is back. She's got big announcements.
Okay, so yes, Carrie and I want to announce that we are going to be having a listeners' family recipe contest.
Oh, now tell us more about that.
Okay, so yes, we would love for you, our loyal listeners, to send in your yummiest or most hilarious/disgusting family recipe.
Ooh.
Yes. Now we will be choosing a winner and we will end up making that recipe for our March 11th episode.
Ooh, I like it. Okay, so we would probably pick, according to today's podcast.
Yes.
The egg casserole.
We totally would do that.
Yeah.
That would be our favorite family recipe.
Yes. Not gross, but delicious.
But if you have one that you think, oh my gosh, only my family would eat this.
I know what our family recipe would be.
What would it be?
Coffee soup.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, so nobody but my dad eats this.
Right. Unless your family did, you have to let us know.
Oh my gosh. And he had a special bowl that he would make coffee soup in.
It was kind of not very deep and really long and wide.
And he would take saltine crackers, crumble them up in the bowl, take coffee, pour it over the crackers.
Yeah, not cream in your coffee, not sugar in the coffee, just black coffee.
And it was called coffee soup.
That's right. He would sprinkle sugar over the top.
And that was yummy to him.
I wonder if that was like a Depression era meal that people would have.
I can't begin to think why that came about.
I don't know.
It's just, it was pretty appalling to childhood me.
Yeah.
It is not any less appalling to adult me.
That would be delicious.
Coffee.
Yeah.
I do not want saltine.
They seem that they would turn mushy. But anyway, a recipe like that, folks.
Oh, yeah.
It's the perfect time to really do this because it's the holiday season. You're going to be getting together with your family. Maybe you could chit-chat about a potential recipe to send into us.
I think that's perfect.
So reminisce, have fun, and if you can't make up your mind, you could send us more than one.
Absolutely. And you do not, in fact, have to be a loyal listener to do this.
No.
You can be a bootleg one-time listener. We're cool with that.
Absolutely. And so what you would do is send us your recipe through email. Mm-hmm. And our email is momswoodenspoon1, the number 1, @gmail.com. Yep. So no apostrophe, just momswoodenspoon1 @gmail.com.
And if you are not a rule follower, and that's not up your alley, join us on our face page.
That's right. You can always add it to one of my posts. I'll definitely make a social media post about this, looking for recipes, and you can always upload yours to Facebook if that's easier for you.
Absolutely.
Yep. And so if you wouldn't mind, or if you do have some really cool origin of the recipe stories or stories about your family eating this or disliking it. I know that there is a story in my husband's family about his mother was a wonderful cook. Everybody loved her food. But one time she made spinach balls.
Ooh.
And they talked about spinach balls for 50 years, how terrible they were. They would tease her like every holiday. Mom, are you going to make spinach balls? So you have a hilarious story. We'd love to hear any tales that you want to tell about it. And we'll share that on the episode.
Absolutely. And if you want to remain anonymous because your family thinks that you love this recipe, but truly you secretly hate it,
we won't say your name.
No, we don't have to call you out for this.
Yeah, just tell us, don't call me out.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll make up some name for you.
That's right.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to head on out, wait for this cake to cook, clean up the dishes. That's Carrie's job since she just stood there watching me do this. And we'll be right back.
It's hard being entertaining, Kristen. It's hard. We have a sour cream cranberry coffee cake.
It is so pretty.
It really is. I was kind of surprised. The cranberries kind of sunk into the cake a little more than I expected it to.
Yes.
And in some places, it took the almonds with it.
It did. And in some places, the batter kind of rose up over the cranberry and all around the edge is golden brown. It just is a really lovely, like marbled look.
It's quite pretty.
Yeah.
So then this also has a glaze to go on top of it, which I'm
yeah.
excited about because maybe the glaze will soak in a little.
Oh, yes.
Kind of add some sweetness to the rest of the cake.
Ooh, I can't wait.
I think that that'll be super delicious. Oh, how's the glaze, Kristen, as you stick that ever so gigantic spatula in your mouth?
In my mouth.
Man, oh man.
It is delicious. It's a really thick glaze. I had to add a little more milk than it called for, but I kind of think it's going to be lovely.
She just did it on the fly, people. She just made that up.
Oh my gosh.
Like
and sometimes that works great for me, and sometimes it doesn't.
End up with really large raisins.
Yeah, you do.
You just never know what's going to happen.
No. Mm-hmm. Well, Carrie, 1983, we've been talking about that. So before we cut this beautiful cake and dig in.
Oh, I'm getting plates, girl.
Oh, yeah, go get the plates. I wanted to remind everybody that I did indeed make a 1983 Spotify playlist before, I believe it was for last season, with the top 100 singles from that year. So if you're all nostalgic for 1983, go ahead and check out that Spotify playlist. Just go to Spotify and search for MWS, which stands for Mom's Wooden Spoon 1983 playlist, and you can listen to it.
So do you want a gluttonous piece of this bad boy? Or, oh, you know what? We're going to take a picture. So let's go with a small, appropriate piece. We'll save gluttonous for after the picture.
Yeah, after the picture.
Okay, I'm going to do this side with the cranberries.
Well, Carrie, you know, in the past, we've talked about 1983, of course, and that is why I made a Spotify playlist. And we talked about the fact that Chicken McNuggets came out in 1983. We talked about Hot Pockets coming out in 1983 and Nerds Candy. But something else I don't think you'll ever guess debuted in 1983. It's a product. It's a Bath and Beauty product.
Nope. Okay. I have nothing.
Axe body spray.
In 83?
That's what I said, but it only came out in France. It's been around since 83.
Wait. France.
Yeah.
Known for their eau de toilette.
La Parfumerie.
I mean, famous for these gorgeous, subtle fragrances of high quality. Created Axe body spray, the douser of stinky boys.
Yep. Since 1983.
But only to the French.
Apparently so, yes.
Wow. Yeah. Apparently they smelled that and they're like, ooh, we need to pass this on to the Americans.
Yes, indeed. They're the only ones that will continue to like it past 1983.
They're a stinky lot.
They are.
They need some deliciousness.
That's right. Well, you're going to get a picture of our delightful cake.
I suppose. I really just wanted to eat it.
I know, me too. Carrie didn't give me my own slice. We're having to share. I think once the podcast is over, I'm going to take my own daggone slice.
My goal here was to not make us look gluttonous.
Oh.
So this is me being kind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I've already licked the daggone spatula.
I felt like we'd already taken a bold step into gluttonous.
Yeah, we did.
And that we would backpedal just a bit. Okay. I got a big, very cranberry, not so much cake piece.
And I've got a beautiful piece with just a little bit of the cranberry and a lot of cake. It's so golden around the edges. How is it, Carrie?
It's so good.
She's going in for a second bite. That's not fair. It's my turn. You have to talk now.
Oh my gosh, y'all. This is incredible. If you like your family at all, you should really consider making this. Unless, I suppose, if you hate cranberries, then don't do it. It's fantastic. The cake is so ridiculously light and fluffy.
It is. You don't typically think of coffee cake as being light and fluffy. I always think of it being more dense. And this is unbelievable. I would eat the cake alone without the fruit, just the cake and some drizzle. That is how good it is.
She is not kidding. So when we put the batter in, I commented that the batter was very fluffy and the cake is exactly the same. I would go as far as saying this is my favorite recipe that we have made.
Ever. Yes, ever.
And we made our dad's apple cake.
Which is heavenly.
Heavenly. But this is shockingly delicious.
I think what makes this so delicious is that it was so unexpected.
It's a coffee cake. I was going to say it's a throwaway dish. It's not, but it's a breakfast. Nobody expects to be wowed for breakfast.
It's a coffee cake. Yum. You drink your coffee, kind of wash it down. Oh my goodness. I would take this to a party in a heartbeat.
You could serve this any time of day.
Yep.
It is not too sweet. You could skip on the drizzle or even do less drizzle. That definitely adds to the sweetness of the entire thing.
It does, yeah.
So if you want to pull back on the sweetness, pull back on the glaze. It is definitely not needed. The cake is so fluffy and amazing.
It melts in your mouth and you can taste the sour cream a little bit. So it's almost on the verge of like a cheesecake flavor.
Mary outdid herself.
She really did. And we have made some really crazy recipes for you this season so far. Some really scary recipes. And this one is the pinnacle of deliciousness.
Absolutely is.
Please make this thing tomorrow.
Yes, it is absolutely worth it. Thank you all so much for listening. We are so glad to have you as a part of our listening family. And speaking of families, while you are with yours over the holiday, talk with them about finding the perfect family recipe that best represents you and send it in to us as a part of our listeners' family recipe contest. If yours gets selected, it will be featured in a coming episode. We'll be back in 2 weeks on January 1st. Be sure to join us then for a Happy New Year and some other rando holiday. Thanks for listening to Mom's Wooden Spoon. If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe. If you want a copy of this recipe or to check out our blog, click on the link to our website in the podcast description. If you'd rather, you could get to our website through Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Pick your poison.
Don't say poison. We're making food.
We are just so much fun today. I mean, if you started listening to this podcast going, gosh, I wonder if they're going to cream anything with butter today. You are so in luck.
Well, you know what? I think we're so fun because it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.